everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary and this is my summer TBR. I can't believe it, but here we go.
I'm not sure I understand.
Siri, I wasn't talking to you. In spring, I decided I was gonna switch from my monthly TBR to seasonal TBRs. And it went semi-successful in in spring. I was able to read 5 out of the 10 books I put on my TBR, so I decided to do only 8 books for the summer to spread it out and also be able to mood read, as well as summer is just so busy. I don't think I'll be reading as much as I usually do, like in the fall and winter, but that's all right. So we've got 8 books here. I have 6 physically and 2 I will read digitally. And let's just get into it. I've got a couple of different categories, so we'll go through those. We've got classics, romance, fiction, and then miscellaneous. The first 2 are classics. So I've got The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. Hemingway has been on my TBR for years and years and years, and I've read I think 2 or 3 of his books so far. Absolutely adored them. Last year I read his World War II novel. What was it called? That one hurt. It was so sad, but so good at the same time. It's slipping my mind, but I've always wanted to read The Sun Also Rises, and my boyfriend actually read this a couple years ago and said it's one of his favorite books now. I just thought it was time to finally pick it up. I've also been told that it is perfect to pick it up in the summer, so that's what I'm gonna do. I don't really remember what this book is about, but I feel like that's all right. I don't need to know. I'm just excited to get into it, and it's very short and sweet, I think. The second book and the last classic I have on this list is Jane Austen's Emma. I've been going through Jane Austen's backlist for the past, I think, year or 2. I decided it was time to pick up another one of her books, and so I wanted to read Emma. I know a lot of people love Emma, so I'm very excited to get into this. It is also a thicker book. I think this is one of her bigger ones. It is 453 pages, so that's pretty big. I feel like Pride and Prejudice was not even 300 pages. And then I also read Northanger Abbey, which was also very short. So this might take a little bit longer to read, but again, very excited. And I don't know exactly what this is about. I'm assuming it's about a woman named Emma, and there's always romance and some type of societal issue that goes on in Jane Austen books. So intrigued, excited, and can't wait. I just read the quote on the back, and it says, "I never have been in love. It is not my way or my nature, and I do not think I ever shall." We'll see. We'll see, Miss Emma. We'll see. All right, the next category I've got is romance, and the first book I have on that is Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. I've been putting this book off for quite a while because the first book that she released every summer after, I was loving it until a certain trope entered the chat and then absolutely hated it. I feel like a certain thing she added in that book completely destroyed the book for me. And so I was very hesitant to go into this book because I think it might happen again in this book, the same trope. So I'm not sure. But what really has me wanting to read this book is that her new release, a lot of people have been raving about, and a lot of people said that trope is not in that book. So I really want to get to that book, but because I already own this one, I feel like I need to read this first. So that's my entire spiel as to why this is on my TBR for the summer. It is a summery romance, and it is set in Canada, so, and I believe in Ontario. Where is this one set? Toronto, and then where? Muskoka Lake. So like, I live in Toronto, I've been to Muskoka, so I loved that aspect of, what was it called? Every Summer After. So I don't know, we'll see. Then the second one I have on this list is A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. I will definitely be getting to that book. I do not own it, but I think I'm gonna read it through my library and then decide if I want to buy it. I probably will end up buying it because The 7 Year Slip was one of my favorite romances of last year, probably ever as well. And The Dead Romantics was not my favorite, but it wasn't my least favorite either. So I'm really intrigued to see what her third book has in store for me. Not her third book, she has other books, but I mean like her more so newest releases. The next category I have is fiction, so I kind of just plotted these two books in there, and the first one I have is Stephen King's Billy Summers. I own a lot of Stephen King, haven't read much of his, except last year I did read The Shining. Wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't bad. And so I've been meaning to get to his other books, but they're always so damn long, so I always put them off. But I know a lot of people love Billy Summers. They say it's more so just a general fiction book rather than like horror. It's not horror at all. I've heard this one is really, really, really good. I think this is more of like a thriller than a horror. I'm intrigued. I've heard many great things about this, and I feel like I'm literally reading it in the summer because summer is in the title. But I believe it is about some killer who doesn't, like, he's a bounty hunter, I believe, doesn't work or do that work anymore, but then he does for this one last kill, and then you're following him along for that journey. Very, very intrigued. And how many pages is this? 510? We'll see. The second fiction book that I want to read is My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante, I believe is how you say her name. I have seen this raved a lot online, specifically by Emily Fox. Books with Emily Fox? Books by Emily Fox? Got her handle, but she always raves about this series. And then Melissa Beware of Pity, I believe is her TikTok handle. She said this is like one of her top summer recommendations and said that you will like fly through the entire series and it will like shape the way you look at the summer that you read it in. So that really, really got me hooked, and I found a copy on Libby and I can read it as soon as I want. So I'm thinking of picking it up when I go on vacation this summer, which is in a couple weeks. So I'm very, very intrigued. I believe it is just a series about female friendship and a friendship group. I don't know much about it, but I've just heard it is such a life-changing book, especially for women, so I'm very intrigued and excited. The last two books I have, I just put in a miscellaneous category, but the first one I have is The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. This is the last book in the Folk of the Air trilogy. I just finished The Wicked King like a week ago. I'm so excited to dig into this book. I'm like so looking forward to it, and I really, really, really want to read it like ASAP. So I put it on here because I just need to read it as soon as possible. I loved The Wicked King. The Cruel Prince wasn't my favorite, but The Wicked King, I swear, had a crack in it. I loved it, and I am so excited to see what happens in this book. A little sad that this is the finale. This is the last one, but so excited. And then lastly, I've got The Golden Spruce by John Fillant. So I've got a lot of history with this book, but it is a nonfiction, and this is my boyfriend's copy, as you can see by the random tabs in here. Hadwin, maybe that's a character. I don't know. But my boyfriend told me to read this book, I think like 8 years ago, and never did. And I bought a copy for myself, and I tried reading it like 7 years ago, and I couldn't get into it. But he told me this is the perfect book to read during the summer, and because it's all about nature, we're actually going to Vancouver. So he was like, it is just perfect, a perfect time for you to read it. So I don't know exactly what it's about. On a winter night in 1997, a British Columbia timber scout named Grant Hadwin committed an act of shocking violence in the mythic Queen Charlotte Islands. His victim was legendary, a unique 300-year-old Sitka spruce tree, 50 meters tall and covered with luminous golden needles. In a bizarre environmental protest, Hadwin attacked the tree with a chainsaw. 2 days later, it fell, horrifying an entire community. Not only was the golden spruce a scientific marvel and a tourist attraction, it was sacred to the Haida people and beloved by local loggers. Shortly after confessing to the crime, Hadwin disappeared under suspicious circumstances and is missing to this day. Oh! As John Violent, I don't know, deftly braids together the strands of this thrilling mystery, he brings to life the ancient beauty of the coastal wilderness, the historical collision of Europeans in the Haida, and the harrowing world of logging, the most dangerous land-based job in North America. Okay, now that I've read that, that is very intriguing, and I can see why he said summertime is the best time to read this book. Wow. Those are all the books that I would like to read in the summertime. Let me know if you have a summer TBR and what is on your summer TBR, and what are also some of your favorite books to read in the summer, because these obviously won't be the only books I read this summer, so I'm always up for more ideas. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Bye!
Lazy Sunday mornings, hiding under covers. I don't mind staying in with you. Play your favorite movie, laying right beside me. I don't mind when it's just a